to have this opportunity. I've walked in beauty with the Navajo people in this land, and this opportunity I will never forget. Visiting reservations are easily among the most rewarding and uplifting things that I've done over the past 3.5 years. From Lame Deer, Montana, to Mission, South Dakota, to here in New Mexico, I am always struck by the dignity and strength and pride of our Native American peoples. It comes from the land that you know and love, and the culture and language that has shaped you and you have worked so hard to preserve. I felt it last night as we gathered over dinner, and I feel it again this morning as we gather to celebrate the extraordinary educational success of our young people. I see it in the strong and determined mothers and grandmothers whose quiet power and authority have been at the center of Navajo society since the beginning of time, holding families and clans together through both good times and through struggle. I see it in the courage and the warmth of the Navajo men who built this culture, defended its land, and honored its traditions of healing and respect for natural beauty. I hear it in your language, your conversation, and that great sense of humor. And above all, I see it in the love and caring that you display for each other and for your children and for your culture. To be Navajo is to be at one with the surrounding world, at peace with yourself and in harmony with nature. The qualities of character that define the Navajo people have been earned over centuries of work, survival, and adaptation, and they've been passed down through the generations. The wisdom of your mothers and fathers comes from the land, the language, and the culture, and it has been tested over time. And now it has been given to you to share with others. And so the question is now, what will you do with it? What will you do with the Navajo knowledge? How can you use it to make the world a better place for those who will follow you? Every graduate faces this question: what can I offer besides my labor? And this is where you need to remember who you are and where you come from. This is where your culture can serve you and protect you as you head out into the world. The rest of the world can learn a lot from a culture that respects its surroundings, protects its animals and water sources, and lives in balance with nature. The fact is, in a world driven only by consumption, that world will inevitably destroy itself. It's already happening as the polar ice caps melt, ocean fisheries decline, and rivers and lakes across the world succumb to toxic waste and pollution. We need to remember the values of shared responsibility, respect for others, including animals, trees, and nature, and freedom to live the way we choose. Your strong sense of values come from your parents and from your community. Combine that with the great education that you've received here, and I'm convinced that you can do absolutely anything. Over 140 years ago, the legendary chief Manuelito affirmed the importance of education when he said, and I quote, "My grandchildren, education is the ladder." Note the concept that Chief Manuelito used, a ladder that you can climb and get to a place that you have never been before. A ladder with a strong, sturdy base that supports you as you reach higher. A ladder that grows taller with each generation. Education is your ladder, and you have now reached a higher rung. You're doing this for yourselves and for your families. And your family's pride in your accomplishments leading up to today is tremendous. And especially for those of you who are the first in your families to graduate from college. Please give yourselves a huge round of applause. Today, you'll receive those hard-earned college degrees, and now you must put those degrees to good use. Your first obligation is to yourself. You've earned this. You've paid for it, maybe with some help from your family, and maybe a little help from the federal government. Now you must find a good job that feeds your curiosity and your passion. In this tough economy, that's obviously not as easy as it should be, but you have the skills. Some of you have earned degrees in science and technology and engineering and math. In fact, enrollment here at NTC in the STEM fields is up from just 56 5 years ago to 427 last year. That's a remarkable jump, and that's a smart strategic shift in priorities. We all know that so many of the jobs of the future are going to require expertise in those STEM fields. Companies like Boeing and Lockheed need your STEM workers. Government agencies like NASA and the EPA need you. Construction and healthcare companies can use your skills. Some of you have earned degrees in media and technology. You can find work in animation, web design, film, and radio. The world is increasingly visual, and with those degrees, you can find and you can create new opportunities. The hard truth, however, is that there are not a lot of jobs here on the reservation. With unemployment here of almost 50%, there cannot be enough opportunities for every single one of you here and your newly developed skills. Some of you will have to leave and try your luck in cities like Albuquerque and Flagstaff and Phoenix. Hopefully some of you will even come to Washington and help us figure out how to solve some of our nation's toughest challenges. We all know it won't be the first time that Navajo tribal members have served their country with tremendous distinction. I simply couldn't come here today without paying tribute to the legendary code talkers of World War II. Their unbreakable code was a huge factor in America's victory in the Pacific. If there are any code talkers here today, I want to extend my deepest gratitude on behalf of the American people and the Obama administration. Thanks to your service and your courage, America defeated its enemies, protected its land, and advanced democracy around the world. And today, those enemies are now our allies. And to all of our graduates, no matter where you go, please remember that you carry with you the spirit, the strength, and the wisdom of the Navajo people, and that whatever success you find, you owe it in part to the values and the education that you received here on the reservation. And that carries with it responsibilities to give something back to your community, to make it easier for those who come behind you. You must always find time to come home and help out those who do not have your advantages of education quite yet. This is the biggest Indian reservation in the country, with over 300,000 members. And the Navajo land has the largest Native American population of any tribe. Members of your tribe have distinguished themselves in so many different fields. Dr. Fred Begay was a nuclear physicist. Jacob Ellsbury played pro baseball. Corey Witherall is a professional race car driver. Jay Tavere is a noted actor. You have well-known painters, poets, dancers, educators, and musicians in your tribe. They owe their success both to the Navajo values that they grew up with and the skills they acquired in life, exactly as you have done. I want to thank the extraordinary leadership of NTC, President Elmer Guy and Academic Dean Tom Davis, and the entire Board of Trustees. To all the faculty and administration, please give them all a huge round of applause. Under their direction, NTC has become one of the top community colleges in the country, an accomplishment that should give all of you great, great pride. Nothing that positive, nothing so transformational happens without great leaders and great leadership. And I want to thank all of you for the remarkable commitment that you have made. Many other institutions serving mostly minority populations fail to graduate anywhere near 50% of their students. But here at NTC, you graduate 85 to 95% of your students. That's absolutely fantastic. It only happened because of your great support and because of our students' hard work and their commitment and responsibility they took for their own education. And today, NTC, as we heard, is expanding its cutting-edge work, adding new four-year degree programs and targeting growth industries like healthcare and technology. I have to tell you, the future here is inspiring, and the vision here is as clear as it is ambitious. The school slogan pretty much says it all. Education is about endless possibility. With an education, there are no boundaries. It is the best and the most lasting form of freedom. You might lose many things in life, but no one can can ever take away your education. You have so much to be proud of and so much to look forward to, so I just want to close with a few brief words of advice. The first one is simple, and that's to find your passion. If you're doing something that you love, it'll never be hard for you to get up in the morning and to go to work. And I've always had two passions, basketball and education. And in 25 years since I graduated from college, those are literally the only two jobs I've ever had, and I feel so lucky about that. And while I wasn't able to fulfill my dream of playing in the NBA, I did play pro basketball in Australia for 4 years and brought back a lot of great memories, along with my beautiful wife. Today, we have two wonderful kids, so basketball did a heck of a lot for me. Basketball also taught me teamwork and discipline, the importance of hard work, and how to sacrifice your own needs for the good of the team. It also taught me something else that I think is so critical to success in life, and that is the characteristic of persistence. Life is about meeting challenges and overcoming those challenges. It's about stumbling and falling down sometimes and failing, but always, always getting back up. And I promise you, there will be times to our graduates you will want to give up, where the pressures of the world or the job start to overwhelm you. But that's when you need to stiffen up that Navajo spine and remember the burdens that your ancestors faced and that they overcame. Remember the long walk of 1864 that forced 9,000 Navajo men and women and children to march hundreds and hundreds of miles. They rebuilt their lives and preserved their culture for you to succeed. Starting out in a new field is always hard, but please don't ever give up. Collectively, you represent our greatest hope. The Navajo Nation needs you to succeed wherever you go, so that one day you can return and give something back to this community. Start something new. Create new businesses and opportunities for the next generation that comes behind you. And please, as you look around you, you'll look at your aunts and uncles and grandparents and cousins and friends, as well as your parents, who all literally helped to raise you. The entire community brought you to this point in your life, where you are ready to compete in a globally competitive economy. They helped you reach the first rungs of the ladder that the chief talked about. And once you've proven yourself in the world, you can always find ways to make that climb up the ladder a little easier for the next generation of Navajo. In graduating today, you are already important role models for them. My final thought is, don't ever forget who you are and where you come from. You are the proud citizens of two great nations, the world's strongest democracy and America's largest tribe. To be American is to believe in freedom and equality and opportunity. And America may not have always lived up to those ideals, but they always define us in the end. From the nation's founding to the great movements in history for religious rights, workers' rights, civil rights, and women's rights, our best qualities come from those core ideas that are at the heart of the American dream. And for you, to be Navajo is to have a rich culture and a rich history. Remember always the Navajo weavers and silversmiths who create beautiful Navajo textiles and jewelry. Remember always the Navajo code talkers whose courage and bravery and brilliance helped to literally win a world war. Remember always the wise medicine men who used traditional methods to heal the body and the soul. Remember the brave warriors and strong women who protected you. Remember the beautiful ceremonies and the unique language that shaped your worldview. Remember your great teachers who have dedicated their lives to your future success. And above all, remember to live and to walk in the beauty way, in balance and in harmony, with respect for others, for yourselves, and the world around you. We are all so proud of you and so hopeful about what you will accomplish in the years ahead. You inspire me, and you inspire all of us. Congratulations. I wish you the best of luck. Thank you so much for having me here.